Hi, I'm Vincent and CEO and co-founder of PT Train College. Today I'm just going to give you a little bit of background, a bit of a bio on who I am and why the college was set up, because we definitely swim against the tide of what all the other providers do. We don't like to do the same things for certain reasons. A little bit of background. Sport's always been part of my lifestyle. From 5 years old I've played soccer. I've been very competitive with a lot of sports. Ranging from soccer, surfing, snowboarding, mountain biking, BMX racing, all the way up to national level on a few of them. So it's really been part of what I do. How I got into the industry. Originally did a lot of weight training with the sports, basically played 3-4 times a week generally, and was training 6, sometimes 7 times a week depending on the rep teams I was playing for. And I injured my back. I blew 2 discs out when I was, trying to think about 18, something like that. Basically I went through a rehabilitation process under all the providers for rehab. This was in New Zealand many years ago, and it took me 2 years to get back to competitive level of playing again, where it reoccurred. So I went to a different provider, a different physio, surgeon and everything like that, found some new training and came across the Paul Check style of training. And for me that was the turning point. I had done all this rehab, been extremely diligent, and I was taught wrong, and to have it reoccur, and when I was reassessed they clearly showed the stats of what I was doing and how it was incorrect. So I thought, well, there's got to be a vehicle where you can get this information out to the general public so other people don't have to go through it. Because it's quite hard to learn that you've wasted 2 years of your life just to have it repop again, and there was a time bomb ticking. So that's when I got into personal training, basically. So that was my decision to become a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for over 15 years, running my own business. So I started in Counties Manukau in New Zealand for 2 years, doing a lot of just weight loss, general public. Did some assistant strength conditioning to some rugby teams just before the Super 12, so the NPC before that was all launched. That was a great experience to learn, and then slowly headed into the speciality of rehabilitation and athletes. So I stayed there for a couple of years, and then I went to Les Mills World of Fitness in Auckland. Beautiful club, 2 4-story buildings. At that stage there was 12,000 members with about 80 trainers, so you had to really learn how to run a business. So one thing that's implemented in our college from the 15 years that I've done, when I started there was no business courses. There was no information on how to sell clients, how to communicate with clients. We didn't even have timelines. So there's a lot of passion from what I've had to learn and struggle with over the years, implemented it into a course. When we started, we tested and measured things, and if it didn't work, the result would be you would lose clients that month. And when you did your test and measuring, you'd ring them up and say, I tried this month, and they're like, that's the reason I left. Generally, half the money came back. So it was a very experimental time, if you'd like to say. So thankfully now we can implement all that information into the courses where you don't have to make those mistakes. So I spent a couple of years at Les Mills, did some more assistant coaching, was mentored by a few trainers, worked with some rugby teams, worked with some wrestling teams, worked with a yachting team, and all these teams went on to win their World Cups or Olympics and stuff like that. So it was a great experience for me. After a period of time I moved over to Australia, where I started working for Fitness First, and I was one of their PTCs, where I ran one of the clubs and had trainers under me. So I spent a couple of years there, learning all their systems, help designing them, everything like that. And then I moved through to one of the super clubs, Good Life, where I was the fitness director for the national level. So I got the opportunity to design and implement all the personal training systems. Now for me as a personal trainer, I just wanted to help people. That's what I love to do, and still today that's what I love to do. So the reason I took the national role in one of the super clubs was I got the opportunity to help more trainers, which means if I could bring all of the trainers in the industry for that club up to a level which I wanted the industry to be at, because it was down here but I wanted it up here personally, that would give me the opportunity to help many, many more people. Gave myself a 3-year time limit to see if I liked it, because at the end of the day I wanted to help one-on-one people, but I wanted to make sure did I have the opportunity to help on a vast scale. A crossroad came up for me where it was just the company was getting bigger, which is great, but I was starting to lose a little bit of control, and I was having trainers at levels that I wasn't personally happy with, which is why I was there in the first place. Like training a client, you want them to get results, and if they're not getting results because they're not doing what they're told, you're in a bit of an internal battle. Do I want to keep this client or not? So that was the opportunity for me, and the flip side of it was a client supported me, had been listening to me moan for 5 years on the industry and the lack of the education provided for the trainers. It's how do you be delicate about it? It's a lot of the trainers aren't surviving in the industry because the level of education is not high enough. It is as simple as that. Part of it is from the providers, part of it is from the actual system where there's no business courses or anything like that. We feel personally from the lecturers, what we've discussed and myself, there's not enough time to give you the level of education you need to survive in today's market. So that's where we really swim against the tide. We've had the opportunity, all our lecturers are degree qualified, we've got about 50 years worth of experience. They've all got minimum 10 years experience, personal training or running health clubs or running health clubs. So we've all been there, done it. So enables us to put all that passion into our courses, which we feel is absolutely critical. And then we've taken the standard package and we added probably 10 or 15% on top of it. Where we feel the downfalls are for today's trainers as a pure base level of education you need, we've introduced that to our courses. In a nutshell, the level of education is what we're here to do. Like, yes, we're an education provider, but what we recognise and we are extremely passionate about, for you as a student or a potential student, I don't care where you go, a couple of things: make sure you interview wherever you're going. It's like buying a car. If you don't test drive it, you don't know what you're getting. It's a flip of a coin. This is your career we're talking about. You need to make sure wherever you go is to the level that you expect or that you want. So do your research, diligently do your research, and please go for interviews and turn up to them. The second thing is look for the passion of the provider that you're going to, whoever it might be. One thing we've recognised, and it's very, very passionate, and this is one of the major reasons why I took the plunge to set up a college, because I was quite comfortable to go and look after one club, live on the coast, have the lifestyle, but I took this opportunity instead. Us as a provider, it is our responsibility to teach you the tools you need to know for today's industry. The frustrating thing I had as a national director was watching trainers come into the industry full of enthusiasm and passion and not surviving due to certain reasons. The thing that really hurt me was catching up with these guys a year later or running into them 2 years later. A lot of them are holding that as a failure when it's not a failure. You can't discriminate an individual for where they train, or where they're educated, but at the end of the day, that's the end product. A lot of the trainers that are coming into the industry and not surviving, it can be a lifetime blow. It's, you've decided to take the plunge, to take the risk, and to go and study for a new career, and if that fails, that's a lot to deal with. So make sure the guys you're looking at are really passionate, and you'll be able to see through all the smoke signals, all the marketing crap. You'll be able to see that very clearly. You'll feel it. It's a gut feeling you'll run with. So search for that, see what you can find, and best of luck. Hope to see you out there.